All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Fourth and 17 podcast. Hey, we're continuing this trend. We're continuing this trend of video chatting, as well as recording the kind of like the audio. So, hey, we're available on multiple platforms.
Yeah.
But we're back, baby. It's the Fourth and 17 podcast, playoff edition.
Yes, sir. Ooh, I like
Hamish,
that. That sounds good.
I know it does, right? Hamish, what are you up to, bro? How was your weekend?
Good. None of my picks. I mean, half my picks didn't come through, but it was a good weekend of football, right? I going in, I was like, man, this is not gonna be that good. Like, I think it was gonna go. You're gonna write it up to chalk, and everything was gonna go, how expected. Besides the upset, the big upset, Washington football team and Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's right.
But yeah, dude, it was full of surprises. I think you had the first good game, Bills Colts. That it feels like Colts kind of squandered, right?
They
We'll
had an
get into that. No,
opportunity.
but
Well, yeah, we'll get it. Yeah,
I,
you're teasing it. You're teasing
I,
it. Hey, good intro. I like it. You're teasing
I,
it, baby. Yeah.
I
Yeah. Just the tip. Just the tip. I
yeah,
like it. I like it.
yeah, but
But yeah, I mean, dude, like you said, I mean, it was a lot of exciting football games. I think there were a few that were closer than they should have been, and certain ones that were like, wow, I can't believe that happened.
two of them were.
Yeah, yeah. But hey, I mean, look, like we promised you guys through the season, we want to give you guys everything. So we're not just going to be talking about playoffs today. We have two kind of big topics in terms of news
Yes,
during
sir.
this playoff, not even off season, like literally season ended, and we have two teams kind of making some splashes right now. First thing let's talk about is this Deshaun Watson stuff. Deshaun Watson,
Oh yeah, it's juicy.
reports coming out of Houston that he is unhappy. Actually, I saw someone tweeted this out the other day where on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how mad he was when he
I
found
saw
out
that. Yeah,
that DeAndre Hopkins got traded. Apparently, there was only a 2. You lose your number one wide receiver and you're only a pissed off number 2
still
versus
pretty mad.
now.
Yeah,
Now he's a 10.
teen. Yeah, no, that's when I saw that, I was like, damn, he wasn't mad about that, or maybe he was, but just scaled up now. So
Yeah. So let me ask you
Texans
a
fucked
question.
up.
What are your thoughts on the whole Deshaun Watson situation?
He's
First of
getting
all,
traded. He's
what
getting
do you
traded.
think? Where do you think he's going to trade to?
So my conclusion on this, like, I feel like it's irreparable at this point. I don't know.
Yep.
Just he lost their trust, right? When just like a relationship, you lose that trust, man, it's game over.
It's hard.
So that happened. I mean, I'm sure you guys know, but they didn't consult him on the GM search. They wanted to give Bieniemy like a interview, and they didn't even do that. So they're just kind of like, fuck you, Deshaun. Like, we're gonna do our own thing. That's not good. Deshaun, I mean, I feel like any star quarterback would want to be, involved in the rebuild, or that's a bad
Sure.
look for the star
For
quarterback. So
sure.
he wanted to do that, be on the right side of this, but just the way they've been going about their business, he probably feels like it's not the right situation for him. And
Yeah.
he also, the other thing was the BLM stuff. Like they were not active in it. They, kind of sit back and whatever. I mean, you look at their owner, it kind of makes sense. I
Kind
mean,
of
yeah,
racist. Kind of
exactly.
racist. Yeah.
Houston. So I'm
So
go ahead, go ahead.
yeah. No, I mean, like, exact. I mean, everything you said is exactly correct, right? I mean, I think the other thing here is that you're Deshaun Watson. You're young. You're in terms of like your numbers. He's a he's a top 3, top 4 quarterback in terms of just the volume and numbers. I mean, this year, like even though he was on a shitty team, you look at his numbers, you're kind of like, whoa, how did he put these numbers up? And no real like star wide receiver, right?
They would have been. I was just like 2-14 without him.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this. He is, I mean, again, the people I'm going to mention are in a different kind of tier, so to speak, because of the winning. But the Patrick Mahomes, the Lamar Jacksons, the Aaron Rodgers, right? Like these type of quarterbacks typically get consulted on major
You
coaching
should.
decisions, GM. You know what I mean? Like,
You don't think that Aaron Rodgers?
uh, sorry. Oh, well, I mean, that's true now. Not well. It's been
But
working though. The whole
he has a
the
better
LaFleur.
infrastructure around him.
Yeah, the LaFleur situation's working, right? But I mean, Mahomes, right? If you're Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers is a little older, right? He had Mike McCarthy and all that situation.
He's looking at
But
Lamar and Patty
exactly,
Mahomes and like
younger guys who like if they were in this kind of situation, right? What do you think they would have gotten consulted on the decision? I think so.
they should. I mean, I feel like you should. I don't know, like your star players, you should consult them. Like, we're going in this direction, and like
Yeah,
maybe they know something because players talk and all that. So they probably know, people inside the league are talking all the time, like maybe he's a good fit, maybe he's not, all this shit. So, you know, they fucked up.
I
I mean,
agree.
if you're an organization who's not, talking to your star players and asking them to help, they want to be a part of this rebuild and have go in the right direction, and you're just fucking this up. He's gone. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't like teams, there's a lot of teams, rumored to be out there. I mean, fuck, my 49ers are out there.
I think
And
they're
that's
what
I feel like if you like put like odds on it, that's probably like the hottest, like, or like I don't know, people would put those two together just because you have Shanahan, you
it's a
have
sexy
Watson.
job. It's a sexy job.
Like I feel like Watson would want to go there. He goes to like a team that I don't know, it's built a culture. You hear about all these things. They built a culture pretty like quickly. Their players are treated properly and all that. And so I think that's I mean, as Niners fans, I want him to go there. And I think if he goes there for him, that's he's set up for the most success in his career.
I I mean, I see what you're saying, but I also like. I mean, some of the other teams that have come up, Bluebirds. Some of the other teams that have kind of come up is actually and I think this is actually a better fit. Is actually Miami.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You put him in
Just because the
Miami.
offense, I don't know if he can do it offensively. I mean, like he'll have to do some of the same stuff he did in Houston and carry that. In San Francisco, it's
Well,
tailor made. Kyle Shanahan.
I think, well, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about slotting him in initially and just kind of having that offense ready to go, sure. But I'm talking about from an overall team perspective. I mean, we already see that defense. That defense is ready to go. And I think now you have the
Uh,
offseason. They have a little bit of money. No, Miami has a little bit of
all right,
money.
bro.
You bring in Watson and you sign some pieces around him. You're good to go, baby.
You're good to go in San Francisco. You don't need to do none of that. You get Bosa back.
Yeah, but
Bosa, Bo,
we don't know. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know what it's
that
going to look
that
like,
that
man.
boy Bosa's a real deal,
He's
bro.
nice, but I'm saying we don't know what it's
And,
going to
and,
look like. We
and
saw.
think about it. We had a top 10 defense without Bosa,
Sure, sure.
and Bosa's the guy who converted that defense. And you got Kinlaw coming up. You still got number 12 draft pick, but if they trade it, then that's gone. But Niners have done a real good job of like finding late gems, so I'm not worried about picks and all that. But
So
that's the best fit.
you think the
Them
Niners? No, but not. I'm saying not best fit. Where do you realistically think he's going?
Niners. I think the Niners are a team that will sell
Really?
the farm for him. Yeah, because if you
Okay.
think about it,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not just speaking like as a Niners fan, but I've been looking at how they've been aggressive in like big name players.
Sure.
Khalil Mack, when he was on the trade mill,
Yep.
they were right there, but Oakland obviously wouldn't want to trade him to San Francisco. But they were there. They were going to give two first. The other team, Odell, they were in that Odell conversation.
I do
But
agree.
but the Giants didn't want to trade him to Kyle Shanahan and let him blow up. So
Yeah. No, I mean, look, the
and I don't
Niners
think
have been rumored around every major player that's come up for trade.
yeah, and I feel like if
They
they're gonna
have.
do it, they'll do it sneakily. So like even Jimmy Garoppolo, that came out of nowhere, like when they did that 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But
Yep.
so they're there. The other team, you're sitting Miami, but I don't know if they're gonna trade him like in the AFC or if that for
He-
some reason, that's a thing.
Well, here's my thing, right? The reason, so I think there were four teams put out there, right? So the two that we've talked about, one of the other ones was the Saints, and the other one was the Colts.
So Saints, I could, why?
Go for it.
Because I think there was rumors even during draft time that Sean Payton wanted Deshaun Watson too.
I heard the same thing.
So, maybe he saw enough at taste. I mean, you saw Drew Brees. I don't think
He's
he's
not.
done.
Yeah.
He's done. I mean, he's
Well,
done
I
after
won't say
this
he's
year.
done, but his
No,
clock
Drew
is
Brees is done
ticking.
after this year. He has a contract with NBC.
Yeah, it's coming. Oh, it's already signed and
Yeah, before
whatnot.
the year. Yeah, so he's
Okay.
gone.
Okay.
Then you got Taysom Hill, maybe a little iffy. So if they don't think he's, why not?
But
They're
here's
still
the thing.
they're ready
I'm
to
looking
go.
at it purely on. I'm looking at purely on what's available, right? And what I mean by that is every team has picks, right? So if you don't have a good first round pick this year, you'll just get rid of the next 3 years first round picks, right? Well, I think what the Dolphins have to offer is those picks plus Tua, and that's what I've been hearing is Tua.
Would
I
you?
mean, not to
Well,
say that Tua, like I'm not hyping the whole Tua train. I don't really think he was that good, but if you're a team like Houston where you're in a rebuild mode, why wouldn't you take a quarterback that just came off a rookie season, right? The
because
hype is still there, so to speak,
because
and
he
let it
didn't look
ride.
that because I wouldn't think he has that much value because I mean obviously I think you would agree his value has diminished after his rookie
100%.
season because no one would probably spend a top 10 pick on him after what they saw. So that's not even maybe a first round pick, like a late first round pick this year. Like, if you equate it,
Sure.
so why would they trade for him? And they have the number 3 pick.
They
There's
do.
there's three
Yeah.
good, or if they trade, right? So that's 3 quarterbacks that
But that's what I'm
you can,
saying though. But
why
like
would you take
what
2 of them?
But
You can probably draft a quarterback.
no, but also, like if you're the Dolphins, you already get like you get a great asset like Deshaun Watson. I mean, and they have good draft capital this year, and
I know,
you just package up Tua. I mean, that's a perfect fit.
but it might not be too enticing to Houston, is what I'm saying. Like that, everyone's keeps saying Tua, but
No, but like you said, there's also other picks that they could potentially get.
yeah, but why would you take Tua? And then if say you want the number 3 pick, but with the number 3 pick, you're gonna think of taking
Fields or
a
something.
quarterback. So like Tua and
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
like
yeah.
Tua doesn't have that much value unless you're dead set on Tua. Like that's my guy, I want him.
Well,
But
I mean, I'm saying the reason why you go two is it probably gives you flexibility, right? Where if at the third, if you want to get, I mean, dude, because he's on a rookie contract, it's not like he's making much anyways.
well, people are talking. I mean, same thing. Niners, you give them JB and first round picks. Like their first round picks, it might not
Man,
be as high.
I just want to put this out there, guys. Jimmy Garoppolo was fucking Superman 2 years ago, and all of a sudden, the Niner fans are ready to just move on, get rid of
No,
him.
it's not about that. It's about
Ah, man,
if Jimmy came back,
fair weather fans.
if he came back, I'm completely fine. It's just the health factor scares me. Like if Jimmy's my guy, I mean he still is my guy. People go on Twitter, Niners Twitter, they're like, fuck Jimmy. Like, in the beginning, at the beginning of the season, they're like, put in Nick Mullins, Nick
Yeah.
Mullins. So like I'm not like, and people are like, start some other, I'm not there. Like
Yeah,
with Kyle, he's a good, like, he's healthy, he'll ball out.
sure.
But that health is like, come on. And Deshaun's younger too.
I know. I know.
And
I
they only
know.
make 10 million more. Like it's like
I trust me. I know. He listen. He's worth that 10 million more too.
exactly.
But hey, so all right. So just let's wrap this up real quick. So you're saying he's going to the Niners, right?
Yeah, I think it's gonna. I
Okay.
mean, it'll probably happen like in a month or two.
Okay. All right. Me, I do feel like he's ultimately going to land in Miami. So we'll see. We'll see if any of our bold predictions come true here.
You heard it
But
here
hey, all
first.
right. Go ahead.
I said you heard it here first. You're going to
Yeah,
say,
we'll see. Well, either way, yeah. Call me Jay Glazer when I get it right.
call me Woj, baby, or Chris Mortensen. Chris
Yeah, I
Mortensen.
was about to say that's a different sport, man. Come on.
Yeah,
All right, so let's
it's
go ahead and
basketball.
pivot. We told you we had two kind of big, interesting topics prior to the actual games. The other one is actually,
Hey, dude, this is a Eagles 49ers centric podcast.
I know. So this is from out of Philadelphia. Breaking news this morning. Doug Peterson was let go as the coach of the Eagles. I think, look, I think some of us were shocked. Some of us were not, I think shocked, but not surprised, right? It's just one of those things where we knew that the relationship was fragile, kind of ending toward, middle of the season, kind of end of the season. It was just a matter of who was on the leash more. Was it Doug Peterson or Howie Roseman? And it looks like ownership has decided to retain their GM and let go of their head coach. It sucks. Doug Peterson got Philadelphia their first championship. So a lot of
Playoffs,
respect there.
2 playoffs. Like
Yeah, I mean, a lot of respect there. But look, I mean, here's my thing. Here's my quick hot take on this. The unfortunate side for Doug Peterson is, his whole mentality with the team was to build coaching staffs within the organization, right? So he wanted to take all the people that he had and kind of move them up to OC positions, DC positions, et cetera, from either QB coach to OC, or, just kind of build within the organization.
mhm.
And my understanding is that that's not what Philadelphia wanted. They wanted to get an OC from another team and get someone who would more credentials and years with under his belt, right? And the thing is that Doug Peterson, unfortunately, doesn't have that relationship with a lot of people. The only kind of coaching he's really been under was Andy Reid's coaching tree, and from there, it's just been really, I mean, it's a really small kind of knit group, and a lot of people that were under that same coaching tree with Andy Reid have all gone on to be head coaches elsewhere, or in other organizations, right? And so it's hard for him to really build those connections from everything that I've been reading. The other thing is that, ultimately you saw what happened with Carson Wentz. I think because Doug Peterson was in charge of a lot of the play calling, I think a lot of that kind of fell on his shoulders. Um, we'll see what happens this coming season. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to go out there and get a new head coach, hopefully a new GM. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens out there. But
Both. It's
man,
usually one or the other.
I know, but you hate to see it, man. I mean, like I said, Doug Peterson, I thought he was a good coach. He's definitely a gutsy play caller, but again, huge shout out to Doug for winning us our first chip. But what are your thoughts, man? What would you see kind of wrong with this situation?
I mean, for me, I mean, I was telling you this, man. The way y'all been drafting has been suspect.
Horrible.
I mean, these past 2 years, right? JJ Arcega-Whiteside, second round. Who'd you guys take first round last year? It was a tackle, right?
Yeah, we took a tackle,
What's his name?
who was fine, but then we also took Jalen Rieger, which
Oh
was
yeah,
kind of a
this year.
reach.
And then who was after that? Who'd you guys take? Jalen Hurts, right? Second
Jalen
round.
Hurts, correct.
So the drafting, I don't see a vision there. It's like a lot of the players, I don't know. You see that consensus are like a pick later, and it's just like I don't know, because you say that they're an analytics based team, right? That's what his niche is, right? That's what how he
I mean, that's every right. That's
well,
kind of what his,
that's
yeah.
what he was known
That's what
for.
he's known for. Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck he's seeing these analytics, but he got some bug in that. So
Here's, I mean, look, if you're an Eagles fan, right? Forget even if you're a fan of football, right? And you're looking at the potential opportunities your team's had, especially at a particular position, right? So the Eagles were looking for a wide receiver in the last two drafts. They
mhm.
weren't just looking for a player; they were looking for wide receivers the last 2 years. Okay, so now we're talking about specific positions. 2 years ago, we let go of DK Metcalf for fucking.
Hella wide receivers, dude.
I
I
mean,
can I can list off all of them right now. You
no,
got
for sure. But I'm saying like DK Metcalf.
well,
Then the year after that, last year,
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. And
I
I was
remember,
so mad.
we were like talking or whatever.
We
And
would talk about that.
we're like, all right, man, fuck. I was like, man, fuck Eagles, because I was hoping he'd slip to the Niners later, but
And then
that's
you
not
guys
how.
got Ayuk in that.
Yeah, I'm happy with him, but
Yeah.
y'all could have taken him too, man.
Yeah, I mean, there were ample opportunities for us in this in the last couple of years in order to draft the needs that we've kind of been missing. Um, we've been talking about trading Alshon Jeffrey for probably the last 2 years. Nothing's really happened there because his contract's too big. It's horrible, man. I don't know what the heck is going on, man. I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like yeah, you got your team like overachieved. I mean, you guys had really good defense, and then offense was where all the injuries and all that. So it was just a bad year.
Yep.
It was bound to happen. They had what 3 good years, right? Ever so often you have one bad year. The Eagles just weren't patient. They probably didn't see a direction. They're like, all right, easiest thing to do, take out Doug Peterson, keep the GM. But I mean, I saw this story with the 49ers where they got, Jim Harbaugh left,
Mm-hmm.
kept the GM, shitty GM, like not good.
Yeah.
Hired horrible, like, next head coach, fucking Jim Tomsula.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Great position coach, not a good like head like leader of men.
Correct.
But so it's just like this next head coach like better
Well,
be a good one. Otherwise,
well,
hopefully it's not like an internal hire or something
he,
like.
here's everything I've been reading is the unfortunate side with the Eagles is we have a lot of money tied up in cap, right? So, the unfortunate thing is what I get depending on how you look at it, right? The fortunate side is it's a Philadelphia job, right? So like, you know, it's Philadelphia. It's a big market for in terms of NFL fan base and whatnot. The problem is that in terms of personnel and bringing personnel, there's not a lot of money left.
I feel like
We've tied up money into a lot of large contracts.
I feel like this job is probably one of the worst jobs
It is
in the NFL, just because like you don't know what's gonna happen. So GM
correct,
that overseer who seems controlling,
correct.
doesn't want to give up that. Then you have roster, so in direction, it's just like, and then plus you got to deal with the Carson Wentz Jalen Hurts situation. So
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that I don't think is that big of an issue, right? I mean, let
it's
me tell
gonna
you something.
be.
If you're
I think
no,
it
but
will.
if you're a coach, that's not a bad issue to have. Is to determine which quarterback you're going to play, right? I mean
But
if you ask me, that's like the fourth thing I'm worried about right now. If you're a coach, if
what's the
you're a
other one?
coach candidate,
But no, I'm just saying it's one of the things. I'm just saying like it's one of the negative things. Like looking at it, like it could be a good and or bad, but like it's gonna be this is just something looming over your team
it's another thing. Here's
throughout the
another thing.
season, which happened this year, right? That was always there, so it's just depends. But
Yeah.
yeah, who do you want to see as your coach?
You know what? I mean,
Candidate.
you know, the dude from OK, I mean, from the OC, the coordinator
Okay,
from Kansas, you know,
the enemy.
be enemies that I think his name is out there, but I don't think, like I said, the job is not sexy enough for him. I mean,
No, he might get it because people. I don't know.
I know the whole stuff, the negative stuff that happened before, right?
No, I just feel like people have been discrediting him, like like just in general, like they don't think
He,
he's gonna be that good, and like
he
he's a
one
byproduct of the Chiefs
Andy Reid.
more than he is. Like he's.
Well, no, but he's from the Andy Reid coaching tree,
I
right?
know, but
So
he's probably not as responsible for it compared to Andy Reid, right? So like,
sure,
where does that credit come from?
yeah,
Because I mean, Andy Reid treating it now is not looking too great. I mean, Doug he
Mm-mm.
won. I can't say,
Yeah, yeah.
but I mean, Nagy is always going to make it look bad, and then but you have Frank Reich, so it's still there.
It's still
But
there. It's still there.
we'll
Yeah.
see.
So we'll.
They'll
I
probably
mean, well, Harbaugh's part of it too.
which one
Baltimore,
was he? He was a special teams coordinator, right?
something like that. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, coaching tree's okay. I mean, it's not like
But
you
who do you
know.
want you to coach though? You didn't answer my question.
No, I mean, I look honestly. I mean, like I said, I think the OC is the first. I mean, that's the first person I would like. But like I said, I don't know if that's. I mean, I think he's better off going to LA. If you really ask me, I think he's better off going to LA.
There's better candidates. I don't think he's going to go to LA. He won't be convincing it. I think the guy
You don't
who
think so?
the Bills guy is going to probably if he goes
Oh
Brian
yeah,
Daboll,
yeah. He turned that team around.
it's going to be him or like I mean, people have been saying Urban Meyer, but I feel like he's going to go to Jacksonville and stay in
Yeah, I think he's going to Jacksonville because of control. I think they're going to give him full control, carte blanche.
the,
Yeah.
what
What?
does that mean?
What does that mean? Like all accents. They're going to give him everything he wants.
You just say no shit. Guys, you heard
Yeah,
that.
you better Google that shit, bro. You out here
Carte
bullshitting.
blanche.
That's French. All right.
But
So
wait, so just him?
I mean that's I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like
You want a defense or offensive guy?
no, I definitely want an offensive guy. I think our defense, the talent on our defense is good. Where I think we can get it. We'll just get a DC to just kind of slot in. I mean, we lost Jim Schwartz, so we'll just get a DC to slot into that. Where I think we're going to have the biggest impact as our offense. I think that's kind of going to be our biggest
No
hurdle
Schwartz
to
either.
overcome. Huh?
No Schwartz either.
No Schwartz. I know. Schwartz decided to call it a season and wrap things up
He was
and
like, I'm getting out of
consider
this.
retirement. I know,
Fired.
man. It's fucking
That's
shit
probably,
show. So look, we got a lot of. I mean, if the Eagles want to hire me, I'll fucking come on board, dude. I'll put a headset on and call it a day, man. Let's do this.
you look like you'd be like one of those.
I'll be a hell yeah, dude. Strength and conditioning.
Hey guys, whatever, fucking go do whatever you want.
Oh man.
That's
So we'll see what happens. A lot of cool things to follow, man, with this offseason. I mean, we're already starting early. We haven't even finished the NFL season, let alone the first week of the NFL wildcard rounds,
Yeah.
which is a good segue. I think we should talk about the NFL wildcard rounds,
Yeah, how
huh?
long was that? I was like fucking 25 minutes, 20 minutes about.
Yeah.
But
That's some
yeah,
news.
that's the tease to NFL last season. How we
All
talk
right. So let's hop into these games, everybody. So the first game was a doozy, man. Colts, Bills. Bills won this game 27-24. Whew. I mean, first of all, this was a very entertaining game to the last second. One of the things I definitely learned watching this game is Phillip Rivers, man.
It's time to
Phillip
go.
Rivers is horrible, man. Like, I mean,
It's time to go.
man, he's a stat patter, but Jesus Christ, dude. But huge shout out to the Buffalo Bills, man. This Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs connection is something special, man.
They still
Something
did. I didn't expect
special.
them to do it, but I mean, I did, but the way they're clicking, the way that they got a tough matchup coming up, man. That
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to see that one. But yeah, this is you talked about it. This was a close game, through and through. It felt like, the Bills kind of took a little bit of a lead there, and then the Colts came back, and I was like, oh shit, Colts are actually gonna win. But Colts had some stuff. I think they got goal line stand right, and they should have maybe taken the points early in the game.
Yeah.
A lot of teams do that, man. They don't take the points, and I'm just like, man, those points end up helping you in the end.
Well, I think they left like 10 points on the board or something like that. They left like a tremendous amount of points that would have been significant in this close game.
Well, yeah, like no, it's just like a lot of people are doing this thing where they keep going for. You just see a lot of people going for it on fourth down, like in the goal line, and not take the points. And I'm just like, it makes sense like at the end of the game or something like that where, the momentum's rolling and like just it doesn't. But like when you're just like, it's like stop and go and just like the momentum's not there and just no flow. It's just like, dude, what are you guys doing?
Right.
Take the 3 points. It's gonna help. Like it makes a massive difference. Like if they miss an extra point, it's just another field goal and you're tied. So it's just like very interesting. But that, I mean, I feel like the Colts, that it was their game to be had. They had opportunities there, and they kind of stymied the Bills in, for a little bit in terms of like their offense was the Colts offense was making plays. The Bills defense couldn't really figure it out. Like it felt
Hmm.
like the Colts were always moving the ball.
Well,
And
the run game was actually pretty. I mean, I thought the run game was actually really good.
it was
You know,
efficient. It was efficient.
yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't like no one had like over 100 yards, but Taylor had 78, Hines had 75, and I mean,
That's the big thing, that like it was a balanced attack, and Bills didn't know where it was coming from. You get Taylor,
correct.
you get like Rivers on a play action or like a crosser to either Jack Doyle or Pittman or Hilton. It was just like a good variety of pass run, and I think that caused the Bills to have trouble because they didn't know what to expect. But I mean, then you got to think about the other guy on the side, 17, man. He's on a roll. Like I think like there's not many of that quarterbacks that could have probably won that game. He was one of the few. He escapes pressure, throws fucking dimes on the run. Like it's like
Yep.
nothing you can do. Like he's been doing this for weeks now.
Yep.
It's impressive to see, like a young quarterback coming into his own and like wheeling and dealing out there, bro. He's like, and his receivers are really good at breaking away, looking at the quarterback and like improvising as well. Like that's a skill too. Like Tyler Lockett does that really well with Russell Wilson. I feel like Diggs and Beasley are starting to get good at that too. So
For sure.
just kudos.
Yeah.
Uh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No,
Uh,
go ahead.
I was just gonna finish, but yeah, kudos to Josh Allen. They got that win. He got his first playoff win after last year. I mean, Colts shouldn't have been in that position. What his name fumbled, right? Like at the end of the game. You remember that? Where he caught it and then he got back
Oh
up.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
the
That
Colts
yeah.
got lucky. That would have
They
been
that
horrible.
should have been a fumble.
Yeah, yeah. It was horrible. Like, so, you know, Colts, even they couldn't even come up with that position. But Phil Rivers couldn't even throw 50 yards at the end. And it was like, man, I thought they should have tried a field goal, man, like a 65 yarder or something. And like, who knows?
I mean, you got to test. I mean, testing your kicker's, I guess, leg at that point. But I mean, you're right. I agree. I mean, at that point, fourth and what was it, 4th and 10 or something? Just
It was
just
a
kick
long
the
one.
ball, man. Just go for it and see what happens.
Well, because I mean, I feel like at least they should have put in Brissett and like, throw the Hail Mary or something, but give him a chance. But,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Colts, I think we kind of expected this from them, right? Close battle. We didn't think they were Super Bowl bound or anything.
No,
Whereas,
no. I mean, I think it's the fact that they even got this far was actually pretty surprising for me. I mean, I think a lot of us counted them out early on in the season, and then they just kind of went on a really good. I mean, they ended what 11-5, I think, to end the season.
yeah,
But again, it's unfortunate that they got stuck with the Bills. The Bills are a really good football team. Um, Defense made the stops when necessary. But the thing with, like I said, the Bills offense is rolling. And like you said, number 17, man, the guy has, I want to say a chip on his shoulder, but man, he's coming out like
he's special. He's special.
revamped, dude. You know what he kind of reminds me of is, do you remember a younger Ben Roethlisberger, just someone very mobile, sturdy, but like this is like that next level.
But he's more athletic. He's like,
Yeah. Yeah. But do you remember like he can sit in the pocket and kind of take a hit? You know what I mean? Like, do you remember when Ben used to take a hit and just fucking chuck it? Like
speaking of Ben,
that's
he's taking the toll right now.
well, hey, come on, man, don't tease it, dude. Oh yeah, tease a little bit. But yeah, it's incredible, man. Like he's gonna be. I mean, I think they're expecting to have an extension for him, ready this offseason. He's gonna get paid, boy.
He
Whew.
should, and he should, man. The trajectory he's on, he's going in that he's on that upward trend to
Oh yeah,
Mahomes Rogers territory right now, and
yeah.
might be there, man. Like the way he's playing and the team they have around him.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
see. It's gonna get interesting, if
yeah.
the OC leaves and what happens. So, but I mean, right now, you know, just they're doing good things over there. Buffalo, good win. I mean, it was a tough win. I mean, we expect to be tough,
It's
but
the playoffs.
yeah, on the other side, we'll talk about the Colts. They lost future. I feel like Philip Rivers is done there, and you still have good running back, top running
Mm-hmm.
back. Like it looks like he's gonna be like top 10, top 15 running back. You got a awesome offensive line. Defense line is still good. Secondary, maybe
Yep.
shore up, draft some people. Or you have young guys there, but let them grow.
Some guys were hurt. I think like Malik Hooker was hurt and things
Yeah,
like
so you
that.
get you
But
get you get
yeah,
some people back, right? And then just growth and then maybe draft and then get that quarterback solidify that quarterback position.
yep,
Because the reason we haven't taken the Colts seriously is because of that quarterback. We're like, oh, it's Philip Rivers. You don't know what the freaking get. Oh, bad.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
like, yeah. So you get solidify. There's options this year. There's Jimmy.
Tons.
There's Jimmy G. There's Carson Wentz. Fuck. I mean, there's like right. I mean, if you want to stopgap, Ryan Fitzpatrick draft. There's four like top quarterback. Actually, like five quarterbacks in the first round potentially.
Yeah.
You can get a good amount of people. So it'll be interesting. See what they do, direction they go. But I mean, I think future's still bright for them. They still have a lot of young pieces.
100%.
And what I think that quarterback, what they do with that quarterback position, but you got to remember, it's Frank Reich, Chris Ballard. That's a heck of a duo. They've been doing a great job.
Yep.
I'm expecting a good thing. I think they knew, like, let's get a quarterback this year, help kind of fortify everything,
Bridge the gap.
and then take off next year. So
Yeah.
we'll probably see that. But, good year for them. 11-5, hell yeah, that's a good year.
I agree. I mean, like I said, I don't think any of us expected them to be 11-5. So huge kudos to the Colts. I mean, they even had a chance to win the division, right? So huge kudos to the Colts for I mean, in my opinion, a very impressive season. All right, so let's move on here. Man, this was I want to say this was a good game. This was a doozy game, man. Rams beating the Seahawks.
Yeah, man.
30-20. I think the first word that describes this game was stunned.
Disappointment.
Geez, this game had Seahawks winning and not even close, in my opinion.
Oh,
they're at home.
Close.
They're at home. Well, but they're at home. They had just beat the Rams a couple weeks ago, right? I mean, dude, Russell Wilson, honestly, I have never seen a quarterback decline in terms of like productivity. No, seriously, if you look at his numbers, through the season, like where he started, we were talking about him being a freaking MVP.
Yeah, it's funny. You know how he said that? I saw a tweet is like, because like they said, how you basically what you said, like we were talking, let Russ cook and all this, that was their mantra. And Pete Carroll, like after the game, was like, well, next year we're gonna focus on running the ball. And then someone said, yeah, Russ overcooked.
I mean, dude,
That's why I was laughing.
I mean, dude, it's horrible, man. Like if you look at where he was at the beginning of the season, like 4 or 5 games. Well, I think he had like the best stretch of any start to an NFL season for like the first 4 or 5 games of the season. You're like, whoa, he's going to be balling, but that flared very quickly. Like that just kind of ran out of juice very quickly. I mean, they were talking about the offensive coordinator for these Seahawks being potentially, sought after heavily by a lot of teams. And I don't think that's going to happen anymore, dude. Like that offense did not look good at all. And the unfortunate side is, the fortunate side for the Rams is they made a trade last year for some guy named Jalen Ramsey, and Jalen Ramsey is a fucking goat.
Best cornerback in the NFL.
God, dude. God. I mean, did DK Metcalf even come to play this game? I mean, he was locking people down. I mean, Jalen Ramsey is just he's impressive.
It worked out for the Rams because, DK came into his own this year, and then, bam, you put Ramsey on DK, game over. Cardinals trade for Hopkins. You put Ramsey on Hopkins, game over. Niners don't have any, but they only have Kittle. I mean, we'll see about Ayuk and Sam Debo, but, we'll see if they're probably going to put him on one of them.
For sure.
That's a scary thought. But, yeah, Ramsey, this kind of brings me back to another thought. If you're going to trade 2 firsts, and a lot of draft capital, you trade it for a premier position, a cornerback, an edge, or a cornerback, right? Those are the maybe offensive linemen, like a tackle, or those are the 4, right? You'd probably say you don't trade fucking 2 first-round picks for a safety ever. Who did that? The other team, Seattle Seahawks,
and it blew up in their face.
Now the Jets are probably like, hell yeah, we got pick number 23. You guys give us another one, so we're chilling, and on top of that, y'all got to pay him $20 million. All right, man, we're okay here, because a safety can't transform a defense. Like people think a corner can, and it sucks for the Seahawks. That trade didn't work out for them for the best. But go back to the game, man. It's very disappointing. Seahawks, we expected them to. I was expecting them to be like a Super Bowl contender. just the way they were going, their defense was trending well. Their defense actually played a decent game here. It's just their offense was cooked.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Actually, like, their defense was able to help prevent the ball in the air, right? I think. I mean, combined between Goff and Walford, which hopefully he's doing well.
Yeah.
I mean, they had less than 180 yards combined or something like that.
So, yeah, like
But Cam Akers,
yeah, he's good.
boy,
So I mean, I'm pretty sure that the Ram or the Seahawks probably put all their eggs into stopping the play action. Probably didn't actually think about stopping the run.
nope.
But you do have to give credit to McVay. I think I've been putting him down like because of Jared Goff. McVay's been doing an excellent job despite having Jared Goff.
Yeah.
The way he's able to lead this team, like kudos to him. I think him and Kyle Shanahan, neck and neck. That's a great budding rivalry in the NFC West. So we'll see that. But yeah, good for him. It's gonna be scary when they get a quarterback and kind of dump this Jared Goff thing. It's gonna be interesting to see. But man, their defense, is good. It's really fast. They had a good game plan. You got to give credit to their DC, Brandon Staley, young guy, putting a good game plan to stop Russ. Because I haven't seen Russ like that. I mean, and I'm a Niners fan. I've been seeing Russ cook Niners for years.
Yep.
So it's just like very interesting to see they had a good game plan, put it all together, and you saw the Seahawks struggle. They had no answers. It just looked like they were lost. Like, what the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
So,
And it's one of those things, right, where I think Russell Wilson, I mean, I know like his first couple years in the league, he's been, he was fortunate to be a part of that Legion of Boom team, right? Won the Super Bowl, went there twice, right? But I mean, now you look at and you're like, man, dude, the last couple of years, it's kind of, and this is not against Russ Wilson. I'm talking about just coaching and kind of player personnel outside of that. There might have to be some changes going on in Seattle, right? I mean, you got to think that
maybe OC, maybe get like a
OC,
better passing game, like kind of guy, maybe a passing game coordinator, but just like
yeah,
a different guy brings in different vision,
correct.
can use Russell in a better way. Cause like you said, they were on the right track with their schematics and schemes of like what they should do with their routes and, passing game.
Yeah,
People caught on. I mean, that's all it is. Right. And they figured it out because they haven't been doing good. Like, their offense has been struggling. Their defense is the reason they've been winning games. And a lot of it was Russell like creating magic, but that's what he's had to do these past, 2 or 3 years, and their team hasn't gone for. So like you said, they're gonna have to reevaluate, bring in some new juice somewhere. Because they do have talent. You got Russ, you got DK, you got Tyler Lockett,
yeah.
David Moore is a good number 3. You got Chris Carson.
Chris Carson. Yep.
So the only thing is coaching. Like, coaches put the players where they need to be and, in the best position. They should put them in the best position. So
Sure.
we'll see. I mean, Pete Carroll, I don't know if he's going to get too much blame for this because, his resume brings, the Seahawks to the playoffs every year.
Correct.
But at what point do you look for a Super Bowl contender, not just a playoff contender, right?
No, I mean, I 100% agree with you. But I think, again, in this instance, I think we all agree that this is not on Pete Carroll. I think this is on the offense specifically. And I think we all know that this is coming from.
Maybe he needs to put some more emphasis on offense, like just he needs to do something. Like you said, a change needs to come to Seattle. Like,
For sure. Right. I 1,000% agree with you. I think change has to come. I mean, he's obviously not the one making the decisions on the offense. Right. So I think that change is going to have to come at a coaching level. I guess my question is that going to happen? And I think after what we just saw, not just what we saw with the Rams game specifically, but dude, like I said, the course of the entire season where you look at a quarterback starting basically not even here, starting here above the bar and just tapering off. So we'll see. I mean, I think that's going to be some interesting things to see over there in Seattle. So let's keep an eye on what's going on over there. So, all right, let's move on. Our next game that we're going to be talking about, upset alert. I called this the Buccaneers beating the Washington football team 31-23. Another record was broken in this game. Tom Brady has beaten 17 teams in his playoff history. 17 different teams.
I mean, when you play for 20 fucking goddamn years, you better beat someone.
I mean, that's impressive, right? And the way that they're looking right now, it looks like he may have 18 next week. But there's a little tease. But hey, I mean, I think real quick, the thing I really want to talk about for this game, this Washington football team, They have a lot of heart, man. I mean, I'm going to leave it out there. I mean, they only lost by 8 points. That team's got a lot of heart and grit. Very young team. Excited to see what they have kind of in the future. But this Buccaneers team, I think you and I have been talking about it. I mean, we have them projected as winning the NFC Championship and facing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. This team is ready, man. This team is Super Bowl ready. A lot of veterans all across the board. Um, you know, it, their defense is good. Their offensive talent is bonkers. Mike Evans was at 85%, put up 119 yards. I mean, if I'm at 80% in the NFL right now, I'd barely get you 5 yards. Motherfucker put up 119,
You
80%, bro.
barely get anything. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'll
Five.
get five. I get five, dude. I'll do a quick post route, bro. Five easy, bro. We talking about?
Quick post shot. That's a slant, buddy, but it's okay.
Give it to me. Give it to me right
You do a
there.
sluggo. You know what sluggo is?
Beat that corner, dude. Put me on motherfucking Malcolm Butler. I'll give it to him, dude. I'll give him 5 yards easy. Post him.
Yeah. All right. All right, man. Good fantasies, guys. We like to we like to help people dream big here.
I'm gonna try to set it up. All right. Anyways, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch too much of it, but it was a dogfight. I mean, I did catch. Actually, I did watch a lot of it. But Heineke, that guy's good. Not good, but like he has some dog to him. Like it was like he looked cool. Like it was like the way the story was going. It was like a movie, bro. Like he was gonna come back, lead them to victory, all this shit. I was like, man, not against Tom, not against Tom. And then he's in a way, it's like the villain one, but that Buccaneers, we knew they're the better team, top to bottom. We expected to win, like you said. Washington, ton of heart. No one expected them to even be that close. We were expecting a blowout, at least 10 points, like 15, like 14, 2 touchdown game or something like that. But
For sure.
the future's bright for that team. You got Chase Young, you got that defensive line. I think the defense is still on the rise. They can do some good things, but the offense, you get a better quarterback, like we talked about with the Colts. There's a lot of good quarterbacks on the market. You put a guy there, you got Antonio Gibson, really good running back. You got Terry McLaurin. You add another couple wide receivers, a tight end, and you have a good unit. And I think they'll be, maybe not like a Super Bowl contender next year, but like a playoff contender fighting for the NFC East. We'll just see how it goes. But they're in good position with Ron Rivera, especially.
Yep.
But then you look to the Buccaneers, like you said, offense bonkers. You got AB. Feels like AB scoring a touchdown every fucking game now. And then you got Godwin, who seems like he's scoring a touchdown every game. And you got Mike Evans, feels like he's so it's just, and they're not even using Gronk. Like Gronk's barely getting used. Like, they got Cameron Brate. Then you look at the running back, is Fournette, is Rojo. So they got a lot of people going. So it's interesting to see like what they've been doing with that team and how it's been going up ever since that Saints game where they got blown out. Bless you. But yeah.
Thank you.
So it's interesting to see how it's been going, but it's a big battle next week against Nolans.
Yeah, I mean they got a lot of top talent on their team at every position, right? I mean Tom Brady's not slowing down at 43, I think is what he's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean they have three solid wide receivers: Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and I mean Antonio Brown. Even all the crazy shit that's been going on with Antonio Brown. I mean until he proves me wrong, he still has good. Sorry.
It looks good.
No, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, I mean, they have three solid wide receivers. I mean, and Gronk, dude, Gronk looks like old school Gronk when he's been playing.
Just wait. There's gonna be moments, next week's heavyweight battle where like Gronk is just gonna make a huge play. Like there'll be a Brady to Gronk touchdown, first down, something.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, this team is they're a very stacked team, and I mean, we're not even talking about their defense, dude. Their defense has just been playing tremendously well. What?
It's been okay. Like, solid. I'll say solid.
Like they've been, I think, a top 10 in rush or in rushing defense. I mean, that's what you need, right? You need a defense that can kind of hold it down and let your offense kind of take it from there. But again, I mean, look, I think, like you said, right? I don't think any of us were expecting a huge dogfight from Washington. I mean, they lost by 8 points. This guy was a Taylor Heineke or Hinkie or Heineke or Heineke. I mean, I think he's a free agent this year.
Eagles, you need a quarterback? Go ahead.
Hey, man, there's a lot of teams that might be looking at him, dude. He didn't play bad, man. He did not play bad, dude.
I would take him as a backup, and then if something goes wrong, put him in like you did now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he didn't play that bad. So there might be some teams that might be looking out for him, and we'll see kind of what happens. I mean, this guy didn't even play a game in the XFL. I think he was a backup in the XFL too, and
He
here
looked
he
quick,
is, brother. Like, hey, dreams come true, baby.
play in playoffs, score a couple, rush for a touchdown.
5 yards, 5 yards in the NFL receiving. It can happen, dude. We can all get it.
Not when you're 45, buddy.
Hey, if Tom Brady can do it, I can do it.
You on
All
the
right,
TV?
so what did you say?
You on the TB12?
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing it, bro. If it gets me to 43, that good, man. Might as well. All right, so yeah, Buccaneers, Washington. The Buccaneers move on. They'll be playing the Saints next week, so we'll see. We'll see what those two teams kind of, or what those teams kind of look like. We'll be talking about that in our preview of the divisional round later this week. All right, so let's move on to, I think, the biggest game of the week.
Funnest game, fun. Yeah.
Funnest. Yeah, more fun. I don't think funnest is a word. The most fun.
Here
game.
in the 4th and 17 platform, it is.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'll allow it. All right. This game, the game I'm talking about, is Mr. Lamar Jackson getting his elusive playoff win
I called it.
over the Titans.
I told you.
And boy, oh boy, was this a freaking game. 20-13. The Ravens pulled this one out.
Dogfight.
You want to talk about this first?
Yeah, no, dude, this is Titans. It seemed like they're controlling it early on, and then Ravens were down. I think they're down by 10 at some point in the game, right? So it was just like, all right, Ravens down by 10 points again. Are they going to come back? All those questions that come up usually with the Ravens, and it's just like, can they come back in their passing game? But then Lamar Jackson, I don't know, it was like 3rd down or something. Fucking take stuff. That was like, I saw that run. I was like, dude, no way he's going to score. No way he's going to score. That motherfucker scored. Like, he looked like he was running 4-3, dude. I was like, holy shit. Like, you see someone who's just super fast, like much more faster than anybody on the field. Like, he accelerated crazy, scored. That I was like, and I saw that, I was like, this team's gonna win the game. Like, it's like, he's gonna let them lose. Like, he was awesome. Like, his running, his physicality, like he was passing okay. Like it looked like everything just kind of clicked for him, and he wanted it. And I feel like he was not gonna let his team lose in for another year in the playoffs. Like, he was gonna deliver, and he did. And then Hollywood Brown had 100 yards. You got Dobbins playing well. Yeah, and then the Tennessee, it was just one of those games. They couldn't get the run going with Derrick Henry.
That's their bread and butter, right? If they don't open that lane up with Derrick Henry, I mean, here's the other thing that kind of sucked. Corey Davis.
Your guy.
Yeah, man. Poor guy, dude.
When you got 2 stud cornerbacks over there, Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters, it's Clamp City sometimes.
Man, it was bad, man. But I mean, look, like you said, the run game, right? I mean, that's what helps predicate their kind of momentum in Tennessee. If that run game doesn't get going, it doesn't really do well for the passing game. I mean, early on, I think the A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill connection was kind of working. But after that, man, that Ravens defense, after that first quarter, that Ravens defense said, fuck you, we're handling business right now. And
that Raven, I think I mentioned this, in our preview. What's his name? Calais Campbell wasn't in the first game. No Brandon Williams. So those are two big mofos.
2 big juggernauts, yeah.
So like they definitely help in the run game. And I think it allowed the Ravens, in these 2nd and 3rd and longs to play coverage. And they're probably the best unit in coverage in terms of scheming things, disguises, like Dink Martindale, whatever his name is, Martindale, the defense coordinator. Wink Martindale. But yeah, he's fucking good at that shit. So like, and they have the personnel to match up. I think Humphrey on AJ Brown, that's a good battle. Humphrey's like a top 5 cover corner in the NFL. AJ Brown, he's good too. Like, I mean, not a top 5 receiver, maybe top 10, but he's a physical specimen too.
Yep.
So he's gonna get his. And then Tannehill, maybe he it was hard for him because, like you said, run game wasn't working. It was a lot on him, and maybe I don't think he expected that, but nevertheless, man, Ravens, great win. I was hoping, because this matchup happened before the Sunday night, I was hoping Ravens Chiefs. That would have been fucking awesome to see.
Yeah.
Even though earlier in the year it was a blowout, but it would have been great to see. But we got another matchup that they're going to be playing. But exciting, man. Ravens finally get that monkey off their back, win a playoff game.
I mean, look, like Lamar Jackson took this game so personal. I mean, if you think about it, he took this game so personal. I mean, he led both teams in passing yards,
and
and
rushing.
he led both teams in rushing yards, dude.
I told you he was not going to let them lose, man.
No,
He had that vision right there.
yeah. I mean, it's just. I think the other thing is that this Ravens defense
It was
is
legit.
really fucking good. I mean, I know
But
we've been talking about it all year long, but they're really good.
they're getting healthy. I
Yep.
think that's a big thing. And you they had a really good defense last year. But
Oh
they
yeah.
did have some flaws. But you bring in Calais Campbell, right, and in the offseason, Yannick Ngakwe
Yep.
instead. So they got two premier players right there, and so that's a little bit difference of the team from last year to this year, along with that secondary. So add it all together, it was a tough matchup for the Tennessee Titans as well. So
Yeah. So, hey, the Ravens moved on. Again, getting their elusive win. So congratulations to the Ravens. So all right, so let's move on here. We got two more games to wrap up the wild card round. Next game, not really much going on here. The Bears Saints. Saints won this game 21-9. And the Bears do what the Bears do best, and that's lose. Mitch Trubisky may have played his last game in Chicago. Not a bad outing, 199 yards, one touchdown, but their run game was not going at all. David Montgomery, 31 yards. It's just, I mean, unfortunately, they got stuck playing the Saints. The Saints defense is really good. And Drew Brees was able to handle business from there. 265 yards, two touchdowns. Alvin Kamara doing what Alvin Kamara does best.
Michael
I mean,
Thomas.
there was really no answer for the Saints in this game. I mean, really, there wasn't.
Yeah, no, this I know I picked the upset just because I mean I felt like there was gonna be one game that was an upset this week. I chose this one just because figured maybe the Bears might be able to run the ball a little bit more, and then Drew Brees was not going to play as well as he did
Mm-hmm.
against the Chicago defense. But he has Sean Payton as his coordinator, coach, whatever it
Yeah.
is. You get Michael Thomas back, that helps a lot. You have Alvin Kamara, so they still had weapons, and their defense played really fucking good too. Like I think I got caught up in the moment, but their run defense is probably the number one unit in the NFL. And then their passing, like, you don't have to worry too much about the passing game with the Bears and Mitchell Trubisky.
No,
So
no, you don't.
you can load the box, put all your big mofos in there, fill
Yep.
up the gaps and contain the run, and then put the ball in Mitchell Trubisky's hands, which is what you want to do. And then you do that. You need your receivers to catch the ball. What's his name? Javon Wims dropped a dime, kind of turned the course of the game and whatnot. But it felt like from the get go that the Saints were going to win it. That could have kept it a closer battle. But yeah, it is what it is.
It is
Chicago.
what. Yeah.
Let's see what happens. They got to turn a whole new leaf. Let's see if they get rid of their head coach. Right? Maybe it's time. Quarterback's probably gone. Right? New quarterback.
But I think the fact that they got into the playoffs kind of saved his job, at least for one more season.
That was
But I
by
do
luck.
think. Sorry.
That was by luck, man. They
No,
like
no, for sure. I agree. But I think that kind of saved him. That might save him for at least one more season. I do think Mitch Trubisky's gone. I think it's time for them just to kind of cut cords with him. It doesn't make sense for them to give him, I mean, unless they get like a team friendly deal in terms of money,
well,
but it doesn't.
I think they might. And then if only thing is if you bringing in like a new coach and like
Yeah,
he maybe wants to keep him on as a backup,
sure.
then you keep him on as backups are pretty important in this day and age with the
Yeah,
NFL, like people getting hurt. But if he's there for a good salary, you can keep him as a backup and then maybe draft a quarterback or go trade for somebody because you're going to need a backup and maybe someone likes his potential. You can make something out of him. And, don't be quick to forget, Ryan Tannehill. I think people are going to be looking at that like, that scheme. It's going to same thing's going to happen with Sam Darnold, So like, we'll see. Don't be too quick to give up on him. He's still on his first deal.
yep.
He still has a lot of time.
Well, and that's what I was going to say, right? Look, Mitch Trubisky in this damn thing keeps falling. In multiple instances this past season, and even the year before, Mitch Trubisky has shown us in some game, again, not consistently, but has shown us that there's potential there. Now, like I said, if you're the Bears and you can get a team friendly deal, it doesn't have to be a long term deal. You give them a one year, 2 year,
Incentive
whatever.
contract.
Yeah, something like that, where it's cheap. Where it's like you said, incentive laden, where it's like, hey, we get into the playoffs, we'll give you another million, whatever, right? Like teams do that all the time. That's that's the route to go.
Yeah,
You
I
get,
think
you know,
I think that's probably going to be happen. I think he's going to want to be back if they get a new coach. I mean, if they keep the same coach, I think he's probably going to be like, all right, let me go check somewhere else and maybe fight for a starting quarterback job. There's going to be opportunities out there. Patriots, Washington, like we're talking about,
yeah,
Colts. Like he can just go somewhere with like a good head coach who knows how to put his players in the best positions and keep them there as a backup because that's probably he'll get a backup job.
yeah, for
Starting
sure.
quarterback job, we don't know, but
That's
maybe
up in the air.
he'll get a quarterback competition like spot like where he can compete.
Exactly.
But yeah, Bears, we'll see. I mean, they're capped at what they can do until they get better offensive weapons. Allen Robinson's a free agent, so
Yep.
let's see what happens
A
there.
lot of decisions.
It feels
And
like
then,
they're going downwards. They had that peak with that season. It looks like they're on their downward trend. So
yep. And then the Saints, man. So the Saints got their W. I mean, I know you thought that they were an upset alert, but like I said, I mean, this team, they got the win that they should have. Only gave up 9 points, scored 21. I mean, for them, I think that's all they really needed for this game. I think, again, I'd consider it more of a tune up game, but they can't. I mean, they'll need to bring a little bit more pressure. Unfortunately, they do play the Buccaneers. So
yeah,
I think both teams split their head to head.
no,
And
they won both.
they
Saints won.
won, they won both? Okay, they won
Yeah,
both.
they
Okay.
played week one, and Saints
Oh,
won
the
it.
Saints, yeah. So then, all right. So then, the Saints have both their numbers. So we'll see. I mean, the Saints are, like I said, they're a very good defensive team. I think it's just a matter of how healthy their offense can be. Drew Brees obviously missed some time. Michael Thomas again came back and was able to play, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Saints as they move forward. All right, last game of the week, man.
Surprise of the week.
This game was over in the first quarter, man. Um,
Was it? I thought they were gonna come back. I was telling my
it
brother.
looked like it.
Yeah, well, like even 28-0, I was like, because I mean, it's a thing. Like if you're gonna get down 21, 28-0, it's better to do it in the first quarter, so you can slowly chip away. I mean, you have the rest of the game to come back. So when they were down 28-0, I was like, all right, like they're gonna probably mount a comeback. Just because Cleveland might take their foot off the pedal a little bit, and then you catch them slipping a little bit. So it did, kind of happen, and then that big 4th and 1 they punted, which made sense to me. Uh, they were like at the 40 or something, and they're like could have gone for it, but momentum was on their side. Their defense was playing well, and then Nick Chubb just fucking took a long one to the house. So Nick Chubb is
Yeah.
good. Kareem Hunt is good. Those are two
Well,
bad boys.
Well, the game that we're talking about, in case you guys haven't picked up on it, is the Browns Steelers.
Oh yeah, my bad, my fault.
No, 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 you're good. You're good. The Steelers lost this game 37-48. And like Hamish kind of said, right? This game was 28-0 in the first quarter. I think most of us thought this game was over. I think in the first half, they had put up 35 points in the first half. Um, this game should have been a nail in the coffin. I didn't realize this until the end of the game. I'm not sure if you saw this stat line by Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh yeah,
I think he had 4 interceptions, which again I think is one of the reasons why they were able to go up so early.
yeah.
But he still ended up with like over 500 yards and 4 touchdowns.
He threw 68 times. That's ridiculous.
I know, but he had 47 completion. I mean, like, good lord. I
Well,
mean,
when you're down 28-0, you
you're
are
airing
gonna
it.
throw. So I can't. I mean, he was gonna put up a stat line, but all year long, even though they've kind of, their season was, we're gonna like, pass. They didn't have a good running game. It was a lot on Ben, and I don't think he was ready for that type of workload. Especially he came off a fucking elbow, injury. So like Steelers, they did him a disservice. They wore him out, and they paid for it at the end of the season because they weren't looking good. Their defense, I don't know what the fuck happened when they were having this great defense. They lost that juice. They gave up 48 points to the Browns, who we thought was like
Yep.
a real middle of the road offense. So
Run game was non-existent. I mean, late in the season, that run game was non-existent,
so it's
man.
just like, dude, come on. Like, as much as people will probably want to put this on Big Ben, and maybe his career is over, because I don't know. Did you see that clip? It was like on IG, Twitter. It's like him
Him
sitting on the
crying.
bench. Him sitting on the
Yeah.
bench. It was like an NFL Films one. It was like him, and then Marquise Pouncey comes, the center.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was like crying. He's like, "Man, I did this for you, but like, I'm sorry." I was like, "Damn." So he's probably over. I think he's done.
I think he's done too. I think he gave it all.
He tried, man. I
Yeah.
mean, he has 2 rings. I forget he has 2 rings, and like yeah. So he's carried that team to some Super Bowls, and like
Oh yeah.
it, it,
Oh
it
yeah.
it's too much for him probably to be with this type of team and like carry everything.
Well, I think the culture. I think the culture in Pittsburgh's changed, right? I mean, look, here's the crazy part. This team went 11-0, right? But I think at a certain point, we were all kind of like, well, it's 11-0, but there were some of these games where they were kind of
Fluky.
suspect, and then they went on that 0-3 stretch,
And they won that against the Colts. That
right?
comeback where they
That
like
comeback
got
win,
lucky.
yeah. And then obviously then here they come, and I mean, I guarantee you they're probably looking back at last week and they're probably like, maybe we should have started our starters and see if we could have beat the Browns from getting into the playoffs. Maybe let someone else, like,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I mean, you never know, but it's very unfortunate. I mean, but on the other side, like, I think you were talking about this when we were kind of introducing this game. I want to give a huge shout out to the Browns, man. I mean, no head coach on the sideline. Baker Mayfield executed perfectly. This run game was amazing. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt,
That's a
that should be
special,
illegal.
that's a special duo, man.
That should be illegal, dude. You got two number one running backs on your team. That should be
Not even,
illegal.
and they're like top fringe, like top 5, top 10 running backs.
Like talent wise, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. It should
And
be
they
illegal.
and they got Kareem Hunt on a cheap ass contract too. So
I mean, they took that risk, and it's been. And here's the other thing: they don't even have OBJ. Jarvis Landry had a phenomenal game, 92 yards, a touchdown. Which, by the way, that touchdown play was beautiful, man. The way, but yeah, I mean, huge shout out to the Browns, man. I mean, I guess let me ask you this: the Browns will now play
Kansas City.
so they'll play KC next week. Chase Claypool just came out and was like, they're going to get smashed.
That's salty though. Come on,
which
bro.
is kind of funny, right? Like you just lost to the Browns. You got smashed by the Browns.
I,
Um,
it's just like giving off a bad vibe with those receivers. Him, Juju, like crying, and
horrible.
it's like, come on, bro. Just like take it. You lost. Take it to take it and just walk
Move
away.
on.
Shake,
Yeah,
shake their hand. Tip your cap. It's over.
move on. What do you think? I mean, you think the Browns are going to keep this close next week? Well, we'll talk about it more
Yeah.
in a preview. But I just want to ask, you think it's going to be a fun game to watch?
If they can, run the ball and control the clock, and then Baker has to make some plays here and there. But it's going to be a big boost for them to get their coach back, and they get some secondary guys back. Denzel Ward, I
Then the
think,
word,
their
yeah.
other cornerback they get back. We'll see. It'll be
So
interesting. I don't know what to
yeah,
expect because Kansas City. The other thing is you have Miles Garrett, and if he can, cause a play here or there against Patrick Mahomes,
some disruption.
yeah, because I think it's going to happen. Kansas City's offensive line not been playing well, so if they can do that and capitalize, they definitely have a chance. And then you can run the ball, control the clock. We'll see. But yeah, for this game, Browns, good job. No one
Yeah.
expected it. I didn't. I didn't expect them to put up this good of a fight and fucking win and score 48 points. Like, go for them. Like, go for Baker. He got his playoff win. He was talking a lot of shit young in his career. He's able to back it up, get them a win in the playoffs, and it's a big win for Cleveland. You beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs, like as an
Oh
underdog.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
so that fan base, they deserve it after all, their shitty teams and whatever they've been through. So, keep it going. I thought they would be content with making the playoffs. I was wrong. It looks like they're hungry. They want more. So that could be scary for the Kansas City. Kansas City can't go into this like thinking like everything's going to be easy. So let's see what happens. But yeah, good job, Cleveland. Pittsburgh, it looks like the time is going the other way for them. But yeah.
Damn, dude, it looks like you got some fucking you got some stuff going on back there.
Yeah, we got a little puppy, man. He's
Oh
going wild.
man. Oh dude, sounds like you got a little dog training to do. So
Man, I gotta put out this content, man.
hey man. So listen, so I want Hamish to go back to go take care of his dog, man, before his older brother eats it. Call it hot dog for dinner. Hey, but this has been a great wild card round review. We will be coming, like I said, we come back with more content later this week. We're going to be previewing the divisional rounds, some exciting games, 4 good games starting off this Saturday. So we'll have that content out to you later this week. It's the 4th and 17 podcast.
Peace.